practice with Léo Chú. He just talked to us. What was your first glance, your first assumptions of his play, what he brings?
Good, very good. I get a smile on my face. He seems to be incorporating very well. You know, he was spending some time with Freddie this morning, which is great. Freddie can speak some Portuguese, Spanish. They communicate. Obviously, with JP, it was the same. I couldn't think of better role models for him to incorporate into our group than those two. So, very pleased about that. On the field, he was good. You know, look, it's his first day. He's excited to be out there, so his energy level is good, everything good. So we'll see.
He mentioned he hasn't played about a month. Do you put him in an individual program, or do you just have him just practice with the team?
He had an individual program through our fitness guys when he was down in Brazil waiting for the visa and all that. We'll get him up to speed now. We'll do some testing, you know, over the next couple of days, see exactly where he's at, and then just keep trying to build his fitness, you know, and we'll see.
Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but like, do you have a timeline even for when you might be able to see him on the field?
Our next game. I mean, why wouldn't I? If he's good enough, if he can compete, if he is fit enough. Look, we've got a condensed schedule, Jeremiah, coming up. He needs to get up to speed fast. Where I would say the tacticians in the group, you know, Mickey, you, Nico, where's he going to play? That's maybe the bigger question. So let's see how we incorporate him tactically. That's probably the biggest hurdle we have to overcome.
We talk a lot about the culture of this club. New players coming from far away that they're actually do you talk to them at all? How does it go about teaching them about the culture of what it means to be soccer?
Well, I think, look, over the years, the club has done a good job. You know, I remember we used to send out a DVD, you know, about the team and about the fans, the stadium, the city. I'm assuming that we did the same. But there's been a ton of players that have come to us. Mauro Rosales, Eddie on his comeback, Gonzo, Jimmy. I mean, there's been Kellen Rowe, Freddie Montero this year. There's been guys that want to come play for the club because of the culture in the locker room. And, you know, I would hope that Leo's expectations are met by our club, by our culture, by our city, and how we do things. I loved his introduction today. He absolutely nailed it. He said, "My name is Léo Chú, and I want to come here and win." So that says enough for me.
We got the news yesterday that Freddie Juarez, assistant coach, what are your thoughts on adding him to the coaching staff?
Great. Just couldn't say anything last week. I know some guys knew. Sure, you knew as well. But, you know, he's a great addition to the staff. Again, in the press release, he's hardworking. He is humble. He's good at his job. He's honest. And I know I can trust him. Those are the things that are important. I am going to see how everything kind of shakes out with Freddie. I am hoping for the best because there was a lot of work last couple of weeks, short-staffed. So we will get him up to speed. We will get him involved as soon as possible. And he's going to try and help us win as well.
I think a lot of people were kind of surprised to find out that they have a pretty friendly relationship that goes back a ways. How far back does that go?
Buzz Lagos, Minnesota Thunder, friends with Leighton O'Brien. I mean, I remember seeing him as a player. I didn't meet him back then, of course, but we talked about that, the good old days, you know, Buzz Lagos and all that. when he first got his head coaching job at RSL, and I think I'm pretty nice to everybody. I'm pretty friendly, pretty like to talk soccer. So, there were moments when he became a head coach at different events, even down in Orlando. Certain times we'd talk over the phone. So, Jeremiah, realistically, over the last couple of years, but not, I think Leighton wanted me to sign him. I think that's how the story. You'd have to ask Freddie that tomorrow.
Coach, you're such a proud coach of the work you do here and the guys and everything. How do you come back from the difficult loss against Timbers and maybe going over the tape? How do you make that an emphasized point to just continue to get better here on out?
So after the game, you guys saw my press conference. You guys were there. I had the same message for the team in the locker room. And then I went to bed that night, Nico, and I woke up in the morning with a stomach ache. I wasn't feeling very good because I hate losing, and I hate losing to that team. And I kind of changed my message to the group when we watched film the next day. And I pointed out a few things that weren't quite up to the standard. And I'm not talking about the 2 goals, the play on the 2 goals. That's not what I'm talking about. And I'm not necessarily talking about the missed chances, because those were good chances. I mean, we had a ton of them. What I'm just talking about in general is what it takes to be a championship team, a supporter shield winning team, a team that can run deep into the playoffs. What is the standard that we set for ourselves at home? Because there's a lot of chatter about our home record. And so that's what I challenged him with, because I'm not happy about it.
There's obviously a break here. How do you use that to your advantage? Obviously,
we get a little mental break. Physically we're going to push them today and tomorrow and the next day, and then the 4-day build-up into Minnesota is going to be, our normal build-up. For the internationals, I'll be keeping tabs on playing time, who's playing for which team, where they're coming from, travel arrangements, all of that. We got to make sure we keep our eye on that, because that will dictate, the lineups for both Minnesota and Santos. So there's lots of work to do, both on the field and off the field.
Do you make any calls to see if we can get Christian rolled on for South rolled on later tonight?
I'm going to be sitting at home with a nice glass of red wine, and I'm going to have my feet up on my table. I might have a little charcuterie plate in front of me, and I'm just going to relax and enjoy that game, because I can't wait to see it. I think it's a great storyline, and I couldn't be happier for the Roldan family. I mean, the pride that the parents must feel, the competitive spirit that I know the brothers have against each other. I mean, it's going to be good. It's going to be Look, there's a lot of good internationals coming. Look, Canada's a good team. That's my dark horse. I like Canada. Obviously, Mexico, Jamaica's got all the problems with the visas. The Damian Lowe, I keep track of him. I mean, there's lots of good soccer coming up this week. Lots of good CONCACAF soccer. It's a good week. It's a busy week for me.
How's Steph and Brian looking in training? You had a conversation on the radio, said that likely we could see him this coming week or weekend. How's he looking, and what's his status for the game potentially?
I'm gonna again repeat what I said. There is a strong likelihood that you will see him in 10 days now. Is it 10 days from now?
9 days.
9 days? Thank you, Jackson. In 9 days.
Is there any chance he would get like a rehab started at the
No. Steph is one of those players that has enough experience, Jeremiah. We might talk about that. We're getting some of the young kids loaned down there for this run out if they got a game tonight, a good game on Sunday against Phoenix. We're going to get some young guys some minutes there, because they're going to have to start playing again. So we'll talk about that.